Now this is part 3 of making these handlebar risers, and today I had this part, the primer, drying overnight up by a heating vent. I came up with a great idea for painting it, something I'm sure very unusual, but I want to give it a try. We basically have a stripe going down right down the middle of the motorcycle, through the seat, the gas tank, and the fairing, and I thought, what the hell, I may as well paint the stripe right over the triple tree part. If I don't like it, I'll paint it black. So what I did while I was out there shoveling and chopping ice before, I measured exactly where the stripe is on the bike, because I wanted to come up through the gas tank and match the fender and the fairing, of course, and these are the dimensions. I made the dimensions pretty accurate. It wouldn't matter if it's off by a 64th of an inch, but I had another nice thing today. I was out there so long and we were moving stuff around. I always use these gloves when I'm out there in a really cold weather. Not only are they great riding gloves, just a question of charging them up, and I'll be warm for the next time, which is every day, chopping ice. Now this is why I like to do these projects in the winter, because I have these big long days where it's really even too cold to paint out there. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to paint until I try it. But I have heard by the end of the week it's supposed to go up to 20 degrees, so maybe it'll be humid to be out there. But we've been in single digits for almost a whole week now. It's really brutal out there. So having these indoor projects, a lot of fun. Now I'm not sure what I can come up with as far as making a stripe, because I looked at it and I said, wow, I never thought of that. The stripe goes up, ends at the gas tank, and I can make it go right up and over the part. Here's the dimensions of the tank stripe. But the first part of this, and I don't even know if the paint's going to dry today, I got to get this part painted white. And this is one of the things that helps make these little projects possible. Now, I'm noticing not a whole lot of paint left in there. We just did some wheel stripes with that paint. I do have enough in here and got plenty of green. But I will have enough for that part, of course. But I would always want to, any little project I do, always have enough paint and have some left over in case you want to add a part, change a part, repair a part, whatever. Spare paint, and always mark it. Now it turns out I put the camera outside on a tripod to take a minute of video. The battery went instantly dead. Now I know these are old batteries, but as soon as these batteries get in a cold, the red light comes on and the camera shuts off. So I really didn't get any footage of this, but it is way under 10 degrees out there. So this is going to dry now, and I've got other projects here to work on. See, I thought with that reveal, you'd see that stripe going up and around. Maybe that'll be pretty cool. Now, of course, if it isn't, it's very easy just to paint it over black. You're never really married to something that's painted. And that's a good point to keep in mind. Whoa, there goes the compressor on. Anyway, this does have to dry. Now, one thing here is pretty working in our favor for a change. I took the template of how thick that stripe is, and it looks like that's going to go, it's almost like I designed this. Like Kawasaki thought of that stripe. So obviously the trick is to lay that stripe out exactly as it matches the tank, because what's going to happen, that stripe is going to come down here on the reveal, and you're going to see this part, of course, will be green. The white stripe will be going down there. And I thought one thing in this little video, one thing would be of some value anyway, is because we'll be able to do all these parts in one day. Now, if I were painting a big gas tank or a whole motorcycle or a fairing or something, pretty obvious, I'd want this to dry overnight. But a small part like this, I have it up by the heating vent. I use the 2-hour rule. Now, if you look on these the things they say, it's called tape-free time. Usually it's an hour to 2 hours. That means, what tape-free time means, let's find some tape. I can demo it. Not everybody knows this, by the way. Is you take a piece of tape, that paint is dry, you rub the tape down, and usually you can, if you pull it this way, it's a lot less risk. If you pull it straight up, sometimes you tend to pull the paint up. So we're safe at the 2-hour mark here, we're very safe. What I'm going to do though is mask this off to the way I think it'll be matching the tank, let's say. And this bar in the middle is just going to be perfect. And now the other thing is, and I've done this for my whole life, I've envisioned, when I started this, I thought this was going to be a black part, and it may still be. But I always leave it in my mind to the last possible second. Now, when this was drying overnight, and I was thinking, oh, what's something I could do here that would be a little bit different, a little bit cute, a little bit something. I don't know what. You never know until you lay out the tape or you put the paint on or whatever. And so this part has evolved the way a lot of my projects have. I start out thinking, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do it, and then halfway through, man. And I'm always aware of something from the world of model planes. There's always, and I'll use stripes or stars as an example. There's always a part, a model plane, car, truck even. You make it 2 colors, wow, it looks a lot better than one. Add the 3rd color, the accent stripe, wow. Then you add the 4th color, and now you're getting toward the edge of the cliff. And as you get into multiple colors, yes, if you're an artist, you can make that all work. But if you get it wrong, and boy, I have seen some that are wrong. They're so wrong that it hurts. Both model planes and motorcycles. But of course, the good news is, it doesn't matter. It's your motorcycle. It's my motorcycle. So, as an example, if Luciano or Turbo Steve or who, doesn't matter who, they say, oh, I would have rather you painted that, a different color. Well, fine. You could paint your motorcycle that color. But I'm trying to make custom, the whole object here, I'm trying to make custom touches that set this bike apart. But I don't want it to look like a chopper. I don't want it to look like some of these cafe racers that have a seat made out of a log or something, a pin cushion. I want a practical motorcycle, and the neat thing about paint doesn't deteriorate performance. If you make a seat that your rear end doesn't fit on, you're going to have an uncomfortable summer. If I paint the bike a color I don't like, just repaint it. Or, in some cases, you saw off the back of the frame so you can put that cool little seat on, and then you go, my girlfriend wants to take a ride, or something. So anyway, this is a part. I'll lay out the tape. We've done this a million times. Trick is always use fresh tape. Don't be a baby and not run up. In fact, we got one more roll here. Somewhere here I had a new roll. But always a roll of fresh tape. Now, a little bit of a challenge getting that stripe to go up around where I wanted, but what I was really looking for is that when I look straight on, which is the view I'm going to get driving a motorcycle, which obviously is the most important thing, that I see the stripe line up with the reveal. That's going to line up with the gas tank perfectly according to my diagram anyway. And this will be dark blue, of course. I'll mask this off first, get the Camaro green on there, and I don't know if it's going to dry today or tomorrow. We'll be able to backmask it. Alright, next step is to spray on the green, and I don't know how long that green is going to take to dry, but that'll determine whether we can finish this today or we have to let it sit till tomorrow. Now that's drying up by the heating vent, and I'm not sure that's going to be dry and ready to pull a tape. It's already 3 o'clock, so I have no idea how long this is going to take to dry. We'll come back in an hour, give it an hour, hour and a half. If it's okay, then I can, well, it doesn't even matter. I can pick this up tomorrow if I have to. Anyway, I'll see. We got plenty of other stuff to work on. And it's really cold out there. And what I've been trying to do is spray right outside the doorway, but it is so cold out there. Karen just came down and she told me this was the coldest, the 10 days in a row of cold weather. Boy, it is brutal. You really couldn't paint any big parts today, but small miracles. Maybe tomorrow it'll go up into the double digits. So rather than risk anything going wrong here, we've got quite a bit of hours into this part already. I don't want to take a chance that that's not going to work out. Yeah, that's going to be nice. I'm going to be happy with that. That's going to be a keeper. Now, I always reserve the fact, because you never know, if I don't like the way this looks, I have the other part that's black. I can make the same reveal for that or different and just paint it black, and I can switch these just like I switched the bodywork on the Suzuki. Being able to maneuver things around and move things, and I guess everybody's different, but I just like having all the choices. And even the R1, I keep this picture in the shop for one reason. How it looked when I bought it, how it looks now, just gives me a lot of ideas of how I'd like this whole thing to work out. But it never hurts, and this is a good thing to remember, it never hurts to leave a part dry overnight, and we're going to do that right now and come back and work on this tomorrow. Now this morning we wake up to blue skies, 2 degrees out, 2 degrees. We want to finish those parts. They've been hanging up by the heating vent all night. Good thing they're not hanging out here. Look at how that ice freezes over the pond overnight. That's overnight. Without that bubble there, we would lose all our fish. Time to chop and then paint. And the next step on this project is going to be get a hair dryer, warm up that tape. Even though it's warm, it's not as warm as it should be. I want to warm that tape up, and maybe you can backmask it and paint it today. And just as I get ready to pull a backmasking, Karen yells down at me, "You got your package from Bolt Depot." By the way, this place has good prices on bolts when you need, and I have specialty bolts for this project. BoltDepot.com is a good place to source it out. And these are the specialty bolts that I'm going to be using. These are really convenient to just go to Bolt Depot. Again, I give them a plug because I have gotten stuff over the years. Good prices, good service. Again, what I'm trying to do is make what amounts to be a kit, so that on a day, and God forbid it goes into double digits, so we go, it's been in single digits for a few days now. I'll have everything ready and I can do this whole job in one day. The whole assembly. Even though these parts have been up by a heating vent, I want to warm that tape up as much as possible before pulling it off. Now you just need to press the tape edges down, backmask this, and be ready for all of the stripes in here to get painted. First coat of blue purple is drying up by the heating vent. This needs 3 coats. After the 3rd coat, then I'll be able to take a look around and see if it's ready for the clear. Now, the most amazing thing today, it blew me away, that the sun is actually out and it's warmed up enough. Maybe we can get some clear on this today. Maybe it's my lucky day. It's never my lucky day. Just a little example of how important it is to get that the white and the purple stripe right. What a difference it makes. And when I looked at designing the paint job for this bike, I knew that white stripe would be important. And this is the clear that we've kind of been using the last couple of years, and with some relatively good results. And the weather is just perfect to get on our first coat of clear, maybe even a 2nd coat. I'm really hoping this day's going to stretch out. It's going to have to dry 20 minutes or so. We'll give it a 2nd coat. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be nice. By the way, anybody that's ever put any tape stripes down knows what a job it is to go up around corners and around. This was a lot more work than I thought it would be. But I think it's going to add a nice little touch to the motorcycle. Now, as that part is drying up, wow, it's starting to really look nice. Now, I don't know if I'm going to like this, It's going to have to get buffed out, of course, but I think it's going to add that nice little touch that you just don't expect to see. And then when you look at the instrument panel, you're going to see, so it looks like the stripe being continued up there. And if I don't like it, we got plenty of black paint. So as today's session ends, we have basically put together in the last week or so a kit to make the risers fully adjustable. We've gotten our bolts from Bolt Depot. The only step left to do, and we'll do that on phase 4, will be to buff this out, probably by hand. And this is the view I'm going to have riding a motorcycle. And again, I always laugh about it, but if I don't like it, or if Karen doesn't like it, that's the main thing. We always have the option of just painting it black. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this little set of videos. There's going to be one more of buffing this out a couple of days from now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.